Hey, I'm Mindy Kniss. This is the Daily Rage. Let's go through a few more questions on Apex. Mark wrote in to clarify his question from yesterday. He said, what I was referring to was getting past the PA level of $50,100. So let's talk about the PA, or the funded account. What that is essentially exactly the same thing that you're starting with in the evaluation. So with a 50K account, you have a $2,500 trailing threshold. You would have the exact same setup in the PA, or the funded account. You have a $2,500 trailing threshold. That $50,100 mark is where that trailing threshold stops. So, like I said, it's going to be exactly the same at first. You're going to start with a brand new, fresh 50K account. You're going to have that 2,500 trailing threshold. And if you were able to pass your evaluation, I would suggest continuing to do exactly what you did to stay consistent with that. Because what you had to do to pass that evaluation would be to get $3,000 of overall profit in your account balance without, of course, it hitting that trailing threshold any of that time. So if you were to get to 53,000, let's say, you would already have surpassed that $50,100 trailing threshold, and you'd be good to go then forward without a trailing threshold. Hallelujah. So my suggestion, Mark, is to do exactly what you were doing before and just trade as you normally did in your evaluation. Like I said, if you were able to pass that and get to 53,000 of account balance, you should be able to do that once again in your PA. And like I said, once you're at that point, that trailing threshold would stop. Hallelujah. Just make sure you're paying attention to the distinction between the account balance and the trailing threshold balance. One more question to go through today, and this one is such a celebration. Dan wrote in and said, "Hi, Mindy, this is Dan. I was in your very first class for getting a funded trading account." He goes, "Well, I'm happy to say I just passed my first two evaluations and I sent pics below." So he sent over his certificate of funding. So, first off, huge congrats, Dan. That is awesome. I am so stoked for you and could not be more happy to get this email. Then he has a question. He says, "I can't find out how or where to withdraw from the PA account. There are only two pages, and all the page links take me back and forth to the same two pages. Is there a link they will send me when everything is in order on their side, or should I just send them a request? Any help would be great. Thank you for your time and class. It was very helpful for an old struggling trader with the never give up mindset." So, Dan, once again, super stoked for you. Thank you so much for letting me know that you passed, you became a funded trader. That's freaking awesome. So, let's talk about the good stuff, the payouts. So, first and foremost, there are a couple things that you're going to want to pay attention to. One is where you will go to actually request your payout is right here on this menu. If you log into your Apex account, and first on the side, you'll see dashboard, customer profile, et cetera, et cetera. This is the one you're going to want to look for, request payout. But in order to request a payout, two things have to be true. First, you need a minimum account balance. Now, depending on which account you're working with and what size that account is, the minimum is going to vary. So make sure you look up in the FAQs to find out what your minimum account balance needs to be in order to even request a payout. So that's the first thing. The second thing that has to be true is that it has to be a certain time in the month. They only offer payout requests twice a month, the 1st through the 5th of each month. And that one, if you were to request, if you had that minimum balance, you made your request, that would be paid out to you on the 15th. Then from the 15th to the 20th, again, you still have to have the proper minimum balance for your account size, but you can make a second request between the days, only between the days of the 15th through the 20th. Otherwise, if you go to this request payout, there's not going to be anything showing there. But if those two things are true, it's one of those dates and you do have enough money in your account to even make a minimum withdrawal, then you can go there and that is where you will request your payout. So once again, guys, super appreciate your questions. If anyone else has questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You can either drop them in the comments down below. You can reply to a Daily Rage email. If I am able to help you out, I would be more than happy to do so. And just as an FYI, since we are talking about Apex, their sale is wrapping up soon. It goes all the way through April 30th, but that is in less than a week now. So that sale is 80% off. You can pass in one day if you were to achieve the profit goal, and you can get half price resets. So a little less than a week to take advantage of all of that. There's a coupon code above or below, depending on where you are watching this video. So you can hopefully become like Dan did and become a funded trader. I'm Mindy Kinnis. Thanks so much for watching.